Hi everyone, so this video is on the measures of central tendency, which is our mean, median and mode. So hopefully you should remember all your information about these three things. If not, there's a table there that explains what each of them are, advantages and disadvantages. So if you need to pause the video now so you can take some notes on that, go for it. But I'm going to move on and we're going to do some examples. So this first example, we are going to find the mean, median and mode, and we've got three different situations we're going to do that for. So this is the first one. The number of small aeroplanes flying into a remote airstrip over a 15-day period is given below, and we're going to find the mean, median and mode. So first of all, let's start with the mean. So remember, for the mean, we have this formula. So we have the x with the line above, which is the symbol for the mean, and that equals the sum of all the x values divided by the number of x values we have. So with this we'll add up all the numbers that we have there, which will give us 66, and we're going to divide that by how many numbers there are in total, which is 15, and that will give us a mean of 4.4. Now with the median, what we need to do first is we need to order the values from smallest to largest. And if we do that, we'll end up with, and so to find the median, we just want to find the middle number. Now if you want to know the position of the middle number, what you can do is you can use this formula to find the position. So the position of the median is how many numbers we have plus 1 divide by 2, which gives us 8. So the 8th number along is going to be our median, which will be this 4 here. And you'll see that it's the 8th position from the start or the finished, it is the middle, which means our median equals 4. Now the mode is just the most common number that we have in the data set. So if we look here for the mode, the most common number is also 4, so the mode just equals 4. Nice and simple. Now your graphics calculators will also do this. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to open up the graphics calculator software, and I'm going to show you how you can input the data into it and then get the statistics. Alright, so now we're going to look at the calculator. So I've just done a split screen here with my PDF, so I can show you how to put this data in. So what you need to do is, from your home page, I need you to go to this green button here with the table, because that is a spreadsheet. So where you have the symbols, the middle symbol, the green one with the table. Click that and it will open a spreadsheet for you. Now what I need you to do is enter all the values from the data in one column. So we've got 5, 7, 0, so just put all the values into one column. Now to calculate our statistics, I need you to click Menu. You are then going to go to number 4, Statistics. I want you to go to the next first one up, the stat calculations, and you are going to one variable statistics, the first one. Click on that one. We've only got one list, so we leave that as it is. Now this section here, we are telling the calculator where the data is that we want it to find and do the statistics of. So because we put our data in the first column, which is A, we can leave that as it is. So when you see here we've got A with the square brackets around it, that's telling the calculator to look for column A. We don't have a frequency list, so that just stays as 1. Now the bottom one here, that is us telling the calculator where we want the results to be viewed. At this stage it's saying it's going to put the results in column B, which is fine because we don't have any data in there. Just click OK and our data will appear. You see here we have X with the line above it, which we said was our mean, and it's calculated that as 4.4, which matches what we just manually calculated. The next one down is our sum of X, which was the numerator of the mean formula. When we added all those numbers, we got 66, and the calculator will tell you that too. Now if you carry on scrolling down, it has n, which tells you how many data values you have. So we had 15 data values. And if you scroll down 2 more, it will also tell you the median is 4, which we did also work out. This doesn't tell you the mode, but mode's easy because you just look for the most common number. And that's how we use our calculator to find the mean and median. Okay, the next part, part B. So here we have that each student in a class of 20 is assigned a number between 1 and 10 to indicate his or her fitness. We have the results there. Now it's asking us to group the data in a table and then calculate the mean, median and mode. So when we group data in a table, it's just going to be a frequency table. And when we have a frequency table, remember this is a score, so we'll have score and we will have frequency. Now we look at our numbers and we want to find our lowest score to our highest score. Our lowest score, if you look there, is 5 and the highest is 10. So we need to put our scores from 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10 and find the frequency of each of those. So how many times does 5 appear? Once. 6 appears twice. 7 is there 4 times. 8 7 times, 9 4 times, and 10 2 times. Now when we have a table like this and we want to work out the mean using the table, we need to add another column to the table, which is going to be the score times by the frequency. So we literally are just going to be doing 5 times 1, which is 5. And we do that for each row. So the next one will be 6 times 2. We're going to have 7 times 4, 8 times 7, 9 times 4, and 10 times 2. Once you've done that, what we also then need to do is do some totals. So we need to do the total of our frequency column, which will be 20, and then we want to do the total of the S times F column, which would be 157 if you added all the numbers together. We can then use these values to work out our mean, median and mode. So for the mean, remember the mean is x with the line above it, the sum of all the x values divided by n. The sum of all the x we've got in our table, which is 157, and we have 20 values in total. And if you work out your mean, that will be 7.85. When we have a median and a frequency table, we need to work out the position first. So we've got 20 points, so we need to do the 20 plus 1 divided by 2, which will give us the 10.5 position. So you've got two ways. You can start from the top, start from the bottom of the table, but you just need to find where 10.5 is. So start at the bottom with 10, we're going to be adding 2 plus 4, which is 6, plus 7, which is 13. So 10.5 comes between the 4 and the 7. So the 10.5 is in the 8 score. If we did it from the top instead, what you'll see, we start with 1, we go 1, plus 2 is 3, plus 4 is 7, plus 7 is 14. So once again, that 10.5 ends up being where the score is 8, so our median will just be 8. Mode, we're just looking for the most common, so you just look at your frequency, which one has the biggest frequency, and you will see that it's also 8. Now when we do our calculator, we can enter frequency tables into our calculator to calculate the mean and median, and I'll show you how to do that now. Okay, so once again on our calculator, go to your home page, which is the on button, and we're going to go to a spreadsheet again. Now this time when we're entering the data into the spreadsheet, we're going to enter our scores. So we've got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then in the second column now, we are going to enter the frequency. So we have 1, 2, 4, 7, 4, 2. So just a table that we drew up before, we're going to enter that. Now to calculate our statistics, very similar process. We're going to go menu, number 4 statistics, number 1 stat calculations, and still one variable, because we still only have one variable. Now in here, we need to tell the calculator where our information is in this spreadsheet. So our first list, our score is in the first column, so we need to make sure that is A and square brackets. Now the frequency list, we do have a frequency list this time, and that is in column B. So we need to do B, and then we need to create square brackets. To do that, hit Control, the blue button on your calculator, and then click the open bracket symbol, and you see above that in blue there are square brackets. So just click that one and square brackets will appear. Now results, here it's got D. I'm going to change it to C just so it's in the right next column. Just make sure it doesn't say A or B there, because otherwise you'll overwrite your data. And then click OK. And you see here is our statistics. So remember, the first one is our mean. We look at what mean we calculated, it was 7.85. We have there. The next one down, we have the sum of all the x's, 157. That's what we calculated. And then if we carry on going down, our n is 20. We said there were 20 bits of data, and our median is 8, which we also worked out. So that's how you enter a frequency table and calculate the statistics for that on your calculator. Now the last one that I'm going to do with mean, median and mode is when we have grouped data. So when we have group data, we have to do some things slightly differently. We actually, with our table, we need to create 2 more columns. We're going to add a mid-interval column, which we will call M. And then we are also going to add then another column, which is F times M. Now the M value is the midpoint of our group's data. So the first one's between 0 and 2. So the midpoint of 0 and 2 is 1. The next one, we want the midpoint of 2 and 4, which would be 3. The midpoint of 4 and 6, which is 5. And the midpoint of 6 and 8, which is 7. Then the F times M, just the same as we did before. We're going to times those two numbers. So we're going to have 2 times 1, which is 2. 4 times 3 is 12. 3 times 5 is 15, and 7 times 1 is 7. So once again, I'm going to have totals. So we need the total of our frequency, which is 10, and then we need the total of our F times M, which you'll find is 36. Now from here, we can then just work out the mean. So x with a line above it equals the sum of all the x's, or the sum of all the f, in this case it's going to be the sum of the fm's, divided by the sum of all the frequencies, which is how many bits of data we have. The same formula, we can just sometimes might use different notation. So this one would be 36 divided by 10, which is 3.6. So for the median, we need to work out the position first. So the position will be 10 plus 1, because we have 10 numbers, divided by 2, which will give us 5.5. So here we want to find where the 5.5 piece of data is. So once again, count it from the top or the bottom to 5.5. So if I start from the top, we've got 2 plus 4 is 6. We've already gone past 5.5 there because we've got to the 6th term, so our median is between 2 and 4. And for the mode, once again, when we have group data, we call it the modal class. So the modal class is just the class where we have the most, which is between the 2 and 4. Now one more question that I want to go through. So we have Will has scored 85, 93, 92 and 84 on the first 4 maths tests of the term. Find the score that Will must get on the last test to finish with an average of 90%. So remember, average and mean are the same thing, so we need to work out mean. So remember, our mean, the mean equals the sum of all the x divided by the number of data points. So this time that we know the average is 90%, so we know our mean needs to be 90. sum of all the x values. So we're going to have 85 plus 93 plus 92 plus 84. But we know we are wanting a fifth test, so we need to plus x because that's what we are trying to find out. And then we want to divide by how many data points we have, which is 5. Then from here we just need to solve for x. Add all those numbers together, you get 354. Multiply the 5 to the other side, and then find x. So then x would equal 96. So Will need to get a score of 96 on his fifth test, so he had an average of 90%. That's everything for this video. Make sure you go through the questions. There are some different things in there you may not have seen before, but they do often come up on exams. If you have any questions, just send me an email and we can go from there.